All right. Thanks everyone for joining us on another Mother Spirit gathering. And I'm sure this conversation is going to be juicy because it's already the whole, yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot this whole summer coming to its transition into fall. You can feel it already, and a lot of intensity in the change. Uh, yeah. Catherine, you're joining
So,
us today.
Catherine, yeah,
Yeah.
tell them about your guest.
Catherine from Abundant. I need to read it. I don't want to
Abundant
mess it up.
beingness.
Abundantbeingness.com. Um, yeah, so much of our experiences and journey aligns, and it's just been a pleasure to converse with you. I'm so happy to have met you.
Thank you. Likewise. Yeah.
I'm just here on the side.
And then there's Olivier who sets all of this stuff up.
Thanks.
Your intern.
No way. Oh my gosh. No, he does a lot more than that. But anyway, yeah, the conversation in the community right now is so much around emotions and the detox that happens on the emotional body and the long term the people that stick with Shivambu long term really they know this. And yeah, I think that's why a lot of people quit. They stop doing it is because they can't. It's a lot to face that level of detox, and they like retreat a bit.
Yeah, and the power.
Mhm. Yeah, and what came up
So
for
much
me
power.
in the chat, can you hear me okay?
Great.
Hmm.
Yeah, what came up for me in the chat most recently is I started Shivambu 2 years ago and then went on a hiatus. And part of that was just logistics and living with a bunch of people who weren't comfortable with it or familiar with it. But a lot of it, I think, was my own expectations. We enter a healing journey or a pathway or a practice and have all of these metrics of what it looks like for it to be successful. And, you know, when those weren't being immediately met, there can be that waning disinterest, not to mention all of the emotions that come up as well. And everything has its own perfect timing, and it was right just for me. But as I was in the chat and reflecting on that, I think that that's one of the things that was showing itself to me is just kind of, yeah, the expectations and the outcome that we're seeking. And oftentimes it's the unexpected and the releasing of underlying things first before other things can move through. And I feel like Shavambu has been really instrumental in that for me.
Like unexpected uh, discomfort, you
Mm.
Yeah,
mean?
unexpected discomfort. And I mean, I think
Disease.
anytime something doesn't go our way, there is an opportunity for a knot to loosen and for something that we didn't expect to unravel and for our heart to break open to a greater degree. And Shivambu and the reintroduction of our own waters and wisdom oftentimes has a plan that's greater than our mental constructs can conceive of. And so that's what I was talking about.
Yes. And I think there's also a part of this, like just to expand on that initial concept, there's this idea of like you have this issue that you want resolved, like maybe it's acne, just for something really simple. And it doesn't resolve that like in the way that you expect it would, or the resolution doesn't come the way you'd want it to come. And then you're like, oh, it's not working. But it's like
Mhm.
working on something else. It's just not
Right.
working on that yet. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I always liken it to, these underlying tectonic plates of the earth, if that's even how it works, have to shift before some of the surface level things can
Mm.
find a different way.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
if
there are
Shivambu is working,
these lines, these like fracture lines of kind where all the volcanic activity is. It's not something we can observe. Yeah,
mhm,
like the mountain ranges, but there's underwater mountain ranges, and all this volcanic activity seems to happen there. So there's something happening there in terms of the Earth releasing something
mhm,
really hot, really smoky,
Mhm.
and there's the year without, I don't know if I'm diverging, but the year without a summer is 18 or 1715 or 1815. I think it was 1715. When there was so much volcanic activity that the the summer was sort of too cold and there was lots of harvest failures. So yeah, there's a release that happens in the earth periodically, and she does this. Like we would cough stuff out or sneeze it. Like I have crazy stuff all the time come out of my sinuses. I'm a Aries, so it's very like a lot of energy goes up. So you notice that even I noticed that people will have problems with sort of what they're concentrating their energy in because there's so much circulation going through that region that the the impurities will like gather up
Mm.
there. So we're working with someone who has problems with her nervous system, as somebody who's very intellectual, very thinking, analyzing, and so much energy was going there. Like me, I've gained a lot of mobility, like just in quick,
Reflex.
reflex
Yeah,
is coming
reflexes.
back, my balance, everything, because I'm sort of similar. Also, is my nervous system. I can really feel like sodium chloride. I'll take it and I'll feel my kundalini tingling like within minutes. So people like will have a different tendency to gather.
But I think there's a collective
Yeah, yeah. There's a
detox
hole
too.
at every level.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think of all of the chemical spraying. So like we're all, you can eat clean, but you're still subject to the environment that you're in with everybody
Yeah, and a lot
else.
of what people call culture is essentially mass poisonings of different kinds. So in America, there's a lot of sugar, a lot of meat, and they have a sort of kind of poisoning which leads them to a certain kind of confusion and suffering. So they have a tendency to be in a certain way, whereas like the Asians will take a lot of MSG and a lot of other things,
Mm.
and they have different tendencies in terms of their poisoning and what they're subjected to
Mhm.
from everywhere. Like there's less, I don't know, I'm gonna say stuff thrown by airplanes in the sky in southern Mexico. We loved it. It was the air felt so fresh. We left for different reasons, but the people there were not having the same kind of problems with that. So yeah, you can see it. You totally see the noise pollution also was so intense there that it creates its own also cultural momentum.
Mm.
Like people have no sense of space, of private space where they can anchor themselves without being blasted by some MK Ultra music somewhere that doesn't even have to be close. In Mexico, they have a lot of electricity and they have very powerful speakers, and they use them to the maximum power. So yeah, it's different everywhere. It's very fascinating
Yeah.
to watch how even coming back here, like the people I thought I knew that I thought I needed to like not prove myself to, but sort of reconciliate myself with and make peace with, but which we haven't really been able to see each other because there's so much has taken place since I've left. I've basically lost toxicity and they've gained it. So it's like it's not even this link that was there is so thin. It's
Mm.
mostly just hanging by this nostalgic memory of our good old days, which for me is sort of I'm recapitulating it and it's losing power. So it's not even exciting anymore. It's like I think of food so differently now. I think of the bagel and I compare it with psilocybin mushroom, and I'm like, well, I think the mushroom because the cost and the fun of the mushroom and versus the bagel is just like I eat this tiny little piece of mushroom, so it's not a whole lot of work and it's not the greatest taste. But then I get like 6, 7 hours of like enhanced senses. Can have amazing meditation, amazing sexual experiences, amazing walking in nature. People take it to go to work even now. Um, so yeah, everything is shifting in value.
Yeah, absolutely.
I saw a leftover sandwich at, at the cafe when I was like, they weren't going to eat it, they were going to throw it out. And my old self wanted that sandwich because I never really cared to, you know, be afraid of other people's saliva. And now I looked at it and I was like, no way do I want that sodium chloride in me.
Mm.
Yeah, it's incredible when you remove something.
Yeah, for me, especially being in a new place.
Oh, she's frozen.
Can you see me now?
Your image is frozen. We can hear you though.
Okay.
I was like, is she sitting that still?
Still.
I know. Weird.
um,
Go ahead though.
okay. Yeah, being in a new place and not knowing anyone and meeting new people, I always find that I want to eat to connect with people, or
Hmm.
else I feel really isolated, and it just undergirds a belief that has been in the works that like I'm so different from people because I don't eat like them or I don't do things like them. And that's really softening in me too, just being comfortable and having some tea instead, or just embracing that feeling of eating to mask feeling alone or something like that.
Yeah.
Because we don't, I mean, the true connection doesn't require food, even though that's so ingrained in our culture and our family systems. Um, there's something deeper.
Oh, there you're back.
Oh, great.
Pop. Yeah, it's so true. And you can even if in bigger events, you can it's not even hard to actually not eat because there's just so they just assume you are.
So have you watched, you know, Ellie Tom, right?
Do I know who?
Ellie Tom Elamine.
No.
Okay.
Uh, well, we posted a few of his videos in the community.
Oh, is it with the recent one?
The
The recent
black
one?
man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched part of
Okay.
it.
So he's been fully, totally pranic for a few years now. Means no water. So he talks about this, and he just had an exchange with Jerome Shaw, whom you might know. I don't know.
Mhm.
Um, about how I don't know if that's the one you saw, but he was talking about how if he was still with his wife, he wouldn't have been doing what he's doing.
Mhm.
And
Not even that because he was divorced. Like if she was still alive, he
but
said.
it wasn't just her,
Right.
right? It just went about the let's say the most important one-to-one relationship in your life
Hmm.
to everyone. So he's like, I married the light,
Hmm.
and I go alone to be with her and recharge so that I can have, well, not so that, but then I have energy to go and be with others. But not, he won't stay. And he has a channel where he posts, he makes selfie videos of himself being with people. He gives workshops and stuff. But he'll just be full of joy with people for some time. But he's not going to stay long enough to like sit down and eat.
Hmm.
because his connection with them is pure love and joy and communication of understanding and of intent. And there's nothing more to add for him to that. So that he feels, uh, you know, épanoui in French, like he was able to shine his light and be enjoyed by others, and then he can also go back and enjoy his place in his own space that he makes wherever he goes, and do his qigong and restore himself, and then do it again, because then it's a win-win for everybody. And he says, I've never had like so many friends.
Hmm.
And yet he doesn't like spend a whole bunch of time with anyone in particular.
Yeah, because they were saying how people think that um,
It's a
the
lonely
piranha
life,
path is lonely, but he's like, actually, no.
but he's not sitting down with people and eating with them.
Right.
So it's a
Mhm.
different kind of relationship.
Yeah.
Well, I can think of only, I mean, I can't think of anybody that I want to spend really, really long amounts of time with right now. Like an hour or two of conversation is wonderful. And then that's enough, you know. Sometimes, I mean, I guess it
Otherwise,
depends on the person, but it's time to retreat and restore and to be silent. And it's only those very special relationships where you can be in silence together, because I find just constant talking and processing and dissecting pretty exhausting and draining.
Definitely.
is your
Yeah.
mic on? Like,
Living in community, living communally, not in community, but like cohabitating is a real skill, actually, where to maintain that where everybody's thriving in that environment. Um, yeah, we don't really get a lot of that anymore, like growing up together in family, like the farm kind of situation. But yeah, even like people have schedules, kids go to school, adults go to work, like how much time we actually spend with each other. It's a very interesting subject, actually.
and we're talking about how much time we spend with each other, like in a certain modality, as if we're not with each other all the time.
Mm.
Hmm. Exactly.
There's one thing that I was like, well, I am aware of it now, but I was sort of aware already of this in a different way for a long time. Is that as a man, with all of this sexual drive and not really the social infrastructure for it to take place in a healthy and guided manner,
Mm.
really. It was getting better, of course. Um, I used the astral as a way to express and connect with women or girls, I guess, when I was younger. And, you know, I feel like I had all these levers that, not a whole lot, but I've had these levers that I'd never, maybe even touched her hand in the flesh. And now that I'm aware of it, it's I have to hold up to that. And so it becomes sort of a space of its own where there are like, not that in the astral it's not necessarily impolite, but because we're anchored here and that other person is also, right, it creates a transfer into here where the respectability rules of this realm sort of transfer over there, so that what I do with my astral body matters here
Hmm. That's actually
with
what.
that relationship,
Hmm.
because I have a lot of power in that way. Like I know I can, if I wanted to, pick a person and sort of intrude and merge, whether they want to or not, and then they'll react differently in the other side, right?
Mm.
But yeah, that's another
Yeah.
um
Well, I think
thing
you have
that
to
we
be
connect all the time. but
Yeah.
we don't necessarily are aware of it.
I think we have to be careful though, how we use our thoughts in that way. And
Mm.
I'm not familiar exactly with what you're saying, but I had a man in my life that I couldn't shake out of my field, and he would come in at the strangest times. And finally I asked him, I said, "Is there something between us? Because if not, I need you to cut me out of your field because there's like too many intrusions." And then it stopped. So, there are boundaries
Wow.
that have to be respected.
Yeah.
Like really strange things. Like I'd be in ceremony and I called in my soulmate and then he would text me like at that same moment, but there was like nothing real going on. It was all just in the astral field. So,
Yeah, it's real.
Mm.
And some people are half sort of conscious of it. Some people are aware of it, and then it becomes different, like I said, because you become aware of it, so it becomes real
Hmm.
in the mental sense.
mhm,
And so, yeah, it's fascinating how we interact actually with people more now when we're alone, in a sense, than when we're with them, because we meditate and then we connect so deep at that time, at that moment, that um, when we meet them, it's nice, but it's not the same anymore. Like it's just living itself now in the flesh. So also changes the nature of the encounter afterwards or before, because you've let go of, like, you can't connect with everything without letting go, forgiving. And so when you meet them, because you did that, now there's no tension that you bring.
mm,
And if they come, you're more open to sort of help disentangle them. So yeah, I connect with people, and sometimes I get questions that, well, why aren't you talking with this person? And I sometimes would say, well, how do you know what's going on? You can't be aware of all this stuff that's happening energetically between everybody.
mhm,
And there's a lot happening between people. They're very powerful people.
mhm. And we can also love without possession in the flesh at this time space coordinate. And just, if there's strong feelings one way or the other, just appreciate the gifts that are there without maybe the other person's recognition. And yeah, I feel this one. And just, love without limitation, confinement, and even, you know, cognitive recognition sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love to appreciate the fact that I just got to know that someone exists, and that
Mhm,
I got to know how beautiful she is and how well she expresses herself or something. And that we vibrate, at a compatible frequency, and just for us to be existing at the same realm at the same time and
mhm.
know about it
Mm.
is enough to rejoice.
Yeah.
Sorry. And that's where the power that grows, and it's just really difficult for that power to be taken away, is that
Mhm,
power of knowing with certainty that all will be forgiven. And we'll get to live that marriage, but maybe in a different modality, in a different realm. It's already happening. What a beautiful day of poetry.
I was just gonna say cheers to that. You don't have a plasma drink here though.
I have
But
plasma.
cheers, Katrine. I
Yeah,
actually have a
cheers.
little blended combo here. Mm. And shall we end the live there?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, we're over.
yeah, people can check out the Mother Spirit website um, to participate in these conversations, either live or private. And we'll head over to the private part of the conversation now. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Catherine, and
Thank you.
yeah, you can join her over here. So
Yes.
see you all next time in about 5 days. We'll keep you up to date on that.